Well, hello there, and welcome into this quick ARCA race recap right here in Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, we are currently in our hashtag Race to 1K, so if you haven't subscribed yet, go down below. It is free. Just click that subscribe button. The quicker we get to 1,000 subscribers, the quicker you're going to see something like this right here live from the track instead of a pre-recorded video, to where we can have a discussion immediately after the race about how good or bad this race was. But for now, given the circumstances around today's race, I felt like I needed to do this live or not, just because, as you probably noticed, we were here at the track today. You can see there is Lucas Oil Raceway behind me, but there was no interviews or anything like that that went up today because of all of the COVID restrictions and that kind of thing going on around this event today. Yes, I did have credentials. See, I still have my wristband on, but really all that did was get me into the media center. I had no infield access whatsoever. I could not go down post-race and do my normal interviews or any interviews post-practice or post-qualifying, nothing like that. I had no interaction whatsoever with any drivers today, which was very unfortunate. I kind of expected something like that to be the case, although I wasn't sure. That wasn't really clear to me when I did get credentials for today's race, but that is what kind of happened today. I did have the best seat in the house, though. A little bit of noise canceling, so you didn't really have to use any ear protection. It was air conditioned, and I got to see the race in person, so it wasn't a total loss, even though there really wasn't any coverage. We did do a lot more tweeting than normal, so if you did not follow at RNN_all_access yet, you need to, because we did a lot of live tweeting from this race today to keep you updated on what was happening, especially given that this was a MAV TV and Track Pass race, because a lot of people don't have those, so I felt like we needed to keep you in the loop on what was happening in that. So let's real quick talk about today's race. As you've probably seen by now, Chandler Smith did win this race back-to-back here at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis. I tell you what, that kid is just so good on these short tracks. So phenomenal. And by the way, this is not replacing the Rewind show. That will be coming up tomorrow morning, but this is kind of just for us to have a little bit of discussion on this race. So yeah, Chandler Smith, so good on these short tracks. Started on the pole. Ty Gibbs did take the lead early, but then Chandler Smith took it back from him there. I think it was around lap 40, I do believe. It never, I don't believe, ever gave it up after that point. Obviously, I don't have all the info in front of me at this point like I would for the Rewind show, so I'm kind of going off of memory as to how all of this worked out. Unfortunately, Ty Gibbs did not make it to the end of the race, had a mechanical issue, so that was unfortunate for him, as he did have a really fast car today, and I think one of the few cars that probably could have kept up with Chandler Smith at the end of this race. Want to give a shout out to Taylor Gray, first career ARCA Menard Series start, and drove the wheels off that thing, literally at one point, or almost literally. Was going for second on Michael Self at one point, got loose underneath him, spun the car out, and that was the end of him really running very competitively. I think he got back up to fourth at one point after that, but really that was his last chance really at the win of this race. Before that, it was between he and Sam Mayer really for the fastest cars on the track. They just get so mired back on restarts that they would take forever to get back through the field and to get back up there to challenge for the front. So it became very hard for them to actually get back up there. But speaking of Sam Mayer, he did make a really strong run at this at the end of this race. He took second from Michael Self, I believe it was, with about 35 laps to go, and had over 3 seconds to get to Chandler Smith. He erased that with 10 to go. He was on the bumper of Chandler Smith with 10 to go, and unfortunately I think he used up all of his stuff getting there and was not able to actually get around Chandler for the win. But a very, very valiant effort by Sam Mayer at the end of this race. I was super impressed by that. I thought we were about to see Sam Mayer's first ARCA Menard Series victory, but unfortunately that did not come tonight. Still a very, very good run for him, though. Also, for the Hailie Deegan fans out there, shout out to her. She ran a fantastic race here, and I think actually at the end of the race might have been the fastest car, but was so far behind by the time she took third that there was no way she was ever going to get up there. Sam Mayer may have had time to cut his deficit. Hailie Deegan did not. But I think, going by lap times and how much she was cutting intervals off, I believe she was the fastest car at the end of the race. Unfortunately, just was not in position for it. So shout out to her. Shout out to DGR Crosley on the whole, putting all three of their cars in the top 5 tonight. Hailie Deegan in 3rd, Taylor Gray in 4th, Thad Moffitt with a top 5 in 5th. So kudos to DGR Crosley. Great stuff all around from them tonight. But I want to keep this kind of short and sweet. It may be a little longer than this when we actually do it live, but for now I want to keep this fairly short and sweet tonight. So let me know down in the comments, what did you think of tonight's Calypso Lemonade 200 from the Lucas Oil Raceway? Again, we will have a normal rewind show coming up tomorrow morning once points and lap leaders and cautions and all that are out, so I can get all the graphics and everything made for that. But in the meantime, this can hold you over and we can have a discussion down in the comments. What did you think of this race from Lucas Oil Raceway? It was nice having fans here for this race. That was probably the coolest part of it. About 50% capacity for this race, and they saw a really good race. This was, I wouldn't say a fantastic race, but this was a good race. I was very entertained by this race. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of this race. But if you haven't done it already, like I said, hashtag race to 1K. Definitely hit that subscribe button. The quicker we get to 1,000 subscribers, the quicker something like this can be live after a race and not a pre-recorded video. And I have other ideas for stuff that we can do live, but we need to get to 1,000 subscribers before we can do that, because YouTube won't let us do mobile live streaming until we get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So definitely hit that subscribe button. That way we can get there as quick as possible. Ring that bell for notifications so you don't miss anything going forward from RNN. While you're down there, hit that big thumbs up button for me if you like the video. It is always appreciated when you do that. But at that, this has been a quick ARCA Menard Series race recap right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm Garth Allen.